So, hi guys, welcome to eracing.net's first walk of what will be the new home to the Berlin ePrix. And yeah, the moment we're at Strausberger Platz, which will actually be this huge roundabout that is part of the track. And of course, we're in Berlin, so one of the first things we see is an emergency vehicle. And I will take you around the track now, and we'll actually going down. As you can see, this is quite a quiet part actually, even though we're in the middle of the city. So let's see what this track will have to offer. Actually, I don't know who read the article we published yesterday morning about Karl Marx Allee becoming the new home to the ePrix, but I mentioned that they will actually resurface some areas of Lichtenberger Straße which were on. And don't know if you can see it, so you don't want to get run over onto this street, but I do know a few drivers who would not be happy to race on a surface like that. So yeah, Berlin has to do quite some things to actually get that street ready for the ePrix, but well, if not Berlin, which other city could pull that off? So let's see how that will go. Seeing that our headquarters are actually here in Berlin, I think it's quite easy for us to check what they're doing quite a few times before the. I can already say to everybody living in Berlin or having friends in Berlin, if some of them happen to live in Lichtenberger Straße, I would suggest you don't actually get tickets for the ePrix, but just, stay on the balcony, because as you can see, those people will have a great view of the track, to be honest. Well, at least of a part of the track. There are lots of straights on that track. I saw a few discussions yesterday that people were either really, really happy about this layout, or they were really offended by how boring it looks. I can tell you this is gonna be everything but boring, because I think we saw in all the Formula E races that straights usually offer some great overtaking possibilities and stuff. So Berlin will be exciting, I can tell you that much already. Actually, some of the streets are not as long as they might seem on the track map. Later on, we're going to walk down Karl Marx Allee, which is the longest straight, which is where the start and finish straight is as well. And it's actually not as long as you might think when you just look at the picture. At the moment, the track is half used as a street, half used as just like a parking area. All those cars will have to be removed in time for the ePrix, of course, which I can already tell you will cause some very heated debates among Berlin citizens, because we're always looking for parking areas close to where we live, and we basically don't have any. And Karl Marx Allee actually has a huge parking area, but all the parking vehicles will have to be removed in time for the ePrix as well. So yeah, this is one of the hairpins. I think it's turn 5 and 6 we're walking at now. Quite a lot of space actually, so I guess we can see some good overtaking maneuvers there. I hope it's a lot warmer in May, because at the moment we have 1 degree. And holding up it's causing my hands to actually get quite cold, so that's going to be a lot of fun for me. We'll wait and we go onto the other straight in the Lichtenberger Straße. As you could see on the track there, on this like between those straights there, but we couldn't make out what it's probably not going to be grandstands, to be honest. Trees would be in the way for that as well. And TV screens, we're not sure if it would make sense to put some here, because obviously the people who will stay in the grandstand, they will actually be put over there in the hairpin. Though it's a massive amount of the race if they don't have a TV screen nearby. So let's see. There are also quite a few holes. Yesterday, a few people watched a few of the videos, and we actually had a look at the track walk from, I think it was Jerome Loic, and I remember Jerome complaining about holes on the, I think it was Punta del Este track. So Jerome will have something to complain about here, but as I already mentioned, the city of Berlin wants to resurface the whole area here, so that would be awesome and actually necessary as well. And now, I know at the moment you can't see much of the track because of all the cars that are actually parking here, but trust me, it's going to get a lot better than this. We're basically walking back, and a lot of people complained about the roundabout being part of the entire track. I actually think it's going to offer some great racing because it's not as wide as it might look. So parts of it are going to be really tight. Might be really interesting actually. Lots of straights. I think when we look at the past few races, we can already say that Idant is favorite for the win here. Long straights is something that's definitely Wemmy territory, to be honest. But let's see. I mean, we've seen lots of overtaking maneuvers so far this season. Lots of them actually happened on straights, so I don't think we have to worry about a boring Grand Prix here in Berlin. Well, ePrix. To get a look. Like London, for example, but bumpy. And kind of different kinds of tarmac are put on here. And here it is really, I know you can't see it that well, but it's really bumpy there. Really bumpy, lots of holes. Actually, the city should consider rebuilding this part in time for the race, and not only Lichtenberger Straße, because that does look quite bad to me. Huge hole there as well. Let's see, we'll walk around the roundabout now. And I think, because you can see it quite well, in the middle there's a fountain. I hope they will actually put it on because it has some really nice displays of water art, or whatever you call that. And I guess walking the roundabout is not the, most exciting part of the entire track. So I think that gives us time to talk about what you can do when you come here. And I think you all should come here for the Berlin ePrix. Yeah, let's wait at the red light because we're a good citizen today at least. As you might be able to see, there are some restaurants around Strausberger Platz, and there's one I can actually recommend for you. We're going to get past that in a bit actually. It's an Italian restaurant called Ristorante Amano, and they have really reasonable prices and really good food. And I would recommend that when you come here. I hope it's actually open, and we have a red light again. I hope it's actually open, but we can hope, I guess. And otherwise, because we have been asked about cheeseburgers if we live around here. If you walk down Karl Marx Allee into this direction, so away from the racetrack, you will actually find a really awesome steakhouse. And the best thing about a burger is indeed the meat, I guess you can agree. So they have amazing cheeseburgers there, Norman, so I think that's the place to be for you. Exactly. This is one of the longest wet places I've seen in quite a while here. But it's not like I have anything to do today, so I have all the time to walk this spot with you. As you can see, there is the underground station from Staufberger Platz. I'm not sure how much of that will actually be open to the public when the ePrix is happening, because it's really close to the actual track, and I don't know how many fences they will put up. It might be close, but it took me about 3 minutes to go here from Alexanderplatz. There, have a nice walk, or use the underground. It's just going to take about 10 minutes to get here, actually. That's the nice thing about the Berlin city center. Everything's really close to each other. So actually we're getting a few questions now. That's good, because otherwise I'm just going to talk. I don't know how interesting to me all day. So which corner are at turn 8-9 at the moment here. And now we're gonna down Lichtenberger Straße again for the smaller straight there. And it's a bit hard to see where they're gonna go around. I think it's just this little green island there, to be honest. Gonna check the track map. Yeah, it's just this little. Well, that's a really short straight. That's an interesting part. I like that already. I know there are cars in the way for you guys, but we're gonna see that better in just a few seconds. See, they're gonna go around there, where the silver car is at the moment. We're gonna go around here. If you're a sporty Formula E fan and you fancy a run after the ePrix, if you just keep on walking, you end up in Volkspark Friedrichshain, which is a really lovely park. And we're gonna go around the other hairpin we have here. That's cool. That is a cool part. I think turn 10 is gonna be interesting. It's quite wide. That's good. Okay, this is where the car will go around. And then onto this straight there. And then we use a part of the roundabout again. And no cars are coming. I do appreciate that. We're actually on the track now. This is where Lucas, Sap, Jerome, all the others are going to drive in May 21st, guys. Save the date. It's gonna be awesome. So let's see. Which questions can I answer right now? I'm not sure which barriers, but from what I know, they actually want to bring the ones they used in Tempelhof. They want to bring them here and put them up. So the track's gonna look like, but we obviously have to see, because some parts here are a lot less wide than the ones we had in Tempelhof, so we have to see. the best vegetarian restaurant nearby, Joe. Okay. If you walk down Lichtenberg, right, there is a vegetarian restaurant. I think I'm out before the ePrix, I can tell you. Yeah, they're not holding it in the park we have nearby because the road surfaces in there are not actually road, that's gravel. So unless we change Formula E to Rel E or something, I don't think we will ever see a race in a park here in Berlin because most of them only use gravel and not asphalt or tarmac. So it will become the start and finish straight, and obviously on the other side the other part of that huge straight. And it's not that long. I mean, you can see the TV tower there, and it's not as far away as it might look at the moment. And so you can see there are the parking areas I was talking about. So it's not just a busy road to close, but also a huge parking area to close. And as I said, I'm sure that's gonna cause some debates here. But yeah, there are actually like streets that go parallel to Karl Marx Allee. So the traffic is, to be honest, the least of the city's problems with this track here. As you can see, it's really wide. It's a really wide straight. Yeah, I would say we can actually get, I don't know how thick the barriers will be and if they will put them like on the sidewalk or next to it. We've seen different solutions, remember, but we can get I remember my deputy editor-in-chief, Topher, asked me where to get the best coffee and cake over here. And there are a few solutions, of course, we're in Berlin, so we have amazing coffee places. And if you actually walk down Karl Marx Allee into the direction of the steakhouse that will become Norman's new home, there is quite a, let's call it a historical cafe, to be honest. I'm just gonna walk in the part of the pathway that's not for the bicyclists. I don't care today. Yeah, and they do have good coffee, but I think that Topher will be with me probably, seeing that I'm his boss in the end. I think I will just take him to Baza Coffee at Alexanderplatz because that is by far the best coffee place we have nearby. So we're now on the very historical Karl Marx Allee. Quite a historical place. It was actually called Stalin Allee for quite a while, but I guess that is a part of German history we just want to forget. So let's just stick with Karl Marx Allee. And I don't know how good your Berlin geography knowledge is, but we're getting really close to Alexanderplatz. And as I remember, lots of you were excited that we're actually going to be that close to one of the most famous squares here in Berlin. And it is indeed awesome. And yes, Edward, I know that parking won't be an issue because the people can just walk here or use public transport. The thing is just the cars that are parking here, that's not tourists, that's people who live around. So I'm not worrying about the people getting to the track. I'm more worried about the people who actually live here and might not be that interested in the race. Of course, everything's wrong with those people because who isn't interested in Formula E? But you get my point, I think. Yeah, so we're on the start finish straight at the moment. This is where the cars will be lined up when the red lights gonna go out, and when this car crosses the street, we're gonna continue our walk. Exactly. So it's quite a cool straight, I guess. Okay, how cool can straight be? But still, right here is really famous cinema in Berlin, the Kino International. At the moment, home to the Berlin Film Festival. So I don't think there's a chance we run into Meryl Streep or George Clooney today, but they've been here yesterday, so all's good. And we're gonna focus on the track again. As I said, this is a start-finish straight. I did a bit of research yesterday to be well informed when I'm going to talk to you guys and show you this amazing track. I know at the moment it might take a bit of creativity to actually like imagine all of the 18 cars racing here, but I think it's going to be amazing. But yeah, the research I did yesterday was actually about the grandstands and how many spectators we can expect. As far as I know, we will have grandstands for about 14,000 people, which is not a lot for Formula E standards, to be honest, because just to put that into perspective, in London we had about 30,000 each day, and last year in Berlin we had 21,000. So we have 1/3 less space here this time. And I think that might be a problem because seeing that the racetrack's basically right in the city center, the problem is that that might attract lots of people who would never consider going to a race. But if we get as many people interested in the race as we did last time over here, then there's going to be a problem where we don't have enough space to actually welcome everybody who wants to have a look at Formula E. As far as I'm concerned, somewhere here, the map is not that exact. Somewhere here is going to be the first turn, this really cool hairpin we're going to have. I guess it's going to be somewhere there because there's a lot of space there. I guess you can see that. That might be enough space for the hairpin, so I'm thinking right there. And this is where the pit lane will be. In the middle where we have the parking area, I guess that's going to be the paddock. Yeah, I'm just reading your comments a bit here. Berlin people love to use the bicycle. What else do we have here? Nothing that new. So I'm just going to continue talking, whether you like that or not. Well, this either is a really long pit lane, or I might be wrong with where it's going to be. No, I'm actually not wrong, because I just remembered a huge part of the street will be used for the E-Village, actually. I think we're going to come up to that in 1 or 2 minutes, to be honest. And the E-Village is actually right next to Alexanderplatz. Like, it's basically on Alexanderplatz. So here we have what will be the pit lane. And just a few meters ahead of us is where the E-Village will be. The media center and stuff like that, I think it's supposed to be somewhere here. So this is where my eRacing.net team and we will be. Come and say hi, we're quite friendly. Yeah, so this will become the e-village. It's gonna be a huge space. Actually, when I looked at the map, I was like, oh, okay, that's gonna be quite small. But no, it's gonna be huge. That's good. I can say with the weather that is a bit more lovely than what we have today, this is gonna look fantastic. If they then also put on the fountain and stuff, it's gonna be an event you'll never forget. So maybe it's not actually that bad that we can't be in Tempelhof this time. I actually agree with Daniel. He said yesterday that he thinks the city actually came up with a track that might actually have more character than the one we raced on in Tempelhof. I might actually agree with him. So this is the e-village. Well, this will be the e-village, but I have a lot of visionary ideas today, so for me it already is. One brilliant thing about Karl Marx actually being that wide is that I think it turns 2 and 3, which are when they drive around the first hairpin and then go down Karl Marx into this direction. And before they get onto the roundabout and then Lichtenberger Straße turns 2 and 3, that's a really lovely chicane, and can only put that here because the street is that wide. So I think it was a really wise decision to put the race here. I know that something on Straße des 17. Juni was also discussed. And that was actually the first idea the team and I had when we were thinking about possible places for the Berlin ePrix. But the thing is that there's actually a women's run on there, the day of the ePrix, which is a day full of complications anyway, because we also have the Deutsche Fußball-Bundesliga Cup final on that day. Yeah. So now we're actually going onto Alexanderplatz, which of course I'm going to show you because I'm so nice, and people in Berlin don't look weirdly at you when you're apparently talking to yourself, because we're crazy cities. And I also want to give you some more recommendations for your stay here, because actually I can show you that right over there we have a few hotels. One of them is the Holiday Inn, and I'm not quite sure how expensive that would be, but it's actually interesting because that hotel has somewhat of a little motorsport history, because about 10 years ago or something, Mr. Tom Chilton, who's currently driving in the World Touring Car Championship, actually landed on there after a spectacular publicity event when he was jumping out of a plane. And there are lots of other cheap places, like seriously just 5 minutes away from the track. You have hotels that are 50 to 70 euros a night. So I think that's really affordable, to be honest. And now we're leaving the actual track. So say goodbye to the track, say goodbye to the e-village. And then you actually go into Alexanderplatz directly. If we ever get the chance to actually cross the street here. I think they will let this street open to the public because, as you can see, it's quite a busy one. But yeah, I think they found a really nice new home for the Berlin ePrix. I mean, it might not even look that interesting properly, but it's definitely gonna be a great event. I can tell you that much. And yeah, I think later this week we will take a few photos of the track surface for you guys, so you can see what I was talking about earlier on, with really bumpy surface and lots of holes and stuff. I will try to talk to the Berlin authorities about which parts they actually want to resurface in time for the race. But yeah, that's definitely some work to do. And right there, one of the most famous Berlin plaques, the TV tower, which got lots of you excited yesterday when we saw that the track is just like a 5-minute walk away. I think, Joe, that DHL will still be the title sponsor, because they're a huge German company, so it's quite likely that they will stay. I didn't hear anything else. As you can see, Berlin, the city of red lights, city of bicycles, and just to prepare you when you're coming here, the city of train delays. I had one when coming here, which is why we needed to postpone the track walk for 15 minutes. We have a red light again. I need to be careful. I'm on air and I tend to swear a lot, so I'm really restraining myself today. So we just look at where the e-village will be again while we wait. I can cross the street. And yes, Edward, if you come here, come and meet us. We're gonna be in our e-racing t-shirts, clothes, whatever we can find. So you should have no problem spotting us. Now we'll just quickly take you onto Alexanderplatz, so you can see what everybody's so excited about if you've never been here. And then I think I will leave you alone again, and I will get a coffee, of course. My team is probably bursting out into laughter when they hear that, because I had about 1 liter already today. But you know me, I'm addicted. So, this is the Alexa, this reddish building right in front of us. It's a huge shopping mall. I forgot to look up the terms and conditions for the Formula E tickets, but should you be allowed to actually leave the track and rejoin with your ticket, then it might be worth, in this really long break we have between qualifying and the actual race, to just go to Alexanderplatz, and everybody who fancies shopping should just drop into Alexa. And right there is also the underground station for Alexanderplatz. And as I said earlier, it only takes you 3 minutes to get to Strausberger Platz from here. So the track is as central as it can get, to be honest. I think the only track that might be more central is probably Moscow. But apart from that, I think Berlin really lives the city center philosophy Formula E has. And there we go. Alexanderplatz. One of the busiest squares in all of Berlin, actually quite empty at the moment. I'm surprised. And there's the TV tower. We're getting closer, as you can see. If you have time, if you don't just come here for the Saturday, and then leave again Sunday morning or something, you should probably actually go up Alexander, the TV tower, because you get an amazing aerial view of the city, and it might be kind of cool to get an aerial view of the track as well, because you can definitely see it. So yeah, this is Alexanderplatz. One thing I have to tell you about is trams. Where is it there? I know a lot of cities don't have them, but we have lots of them, especially in the eastern part of the city, which is where the race is held. Please be careful. Don't run in front of one, because that's definitely gonna hurt, and we don't want that, do we? So yeah, there's Weltzeit Uhr, which I think was on the track map as well. So yeah, if you have any more questions concerning the Berlin EP, just like tweet us at erasing_net. You know us, we basically work around, we work 24/7, so we're always around to answer all questions you have. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you here in Berlin with this really cool new track we have. And yeah, that's it. Hope you had some fun. I definitely did, but now I seriously need to warm up a bit, because as I said, we have 1 degree here. So I froze one of my hands to death for you. I hope you can appreciate that. And yeah, see you around, guys. Bye bye.